poking around in sockets, touching open wires. Absolutely crazy and extremely dangerous. But he doesn't care. He does things with electricity that would be life-threatening for normal people. Biba Struja, the Electric Man.
220 volts for me, no problem.
His body is supposedly insensitive to high voltage.
My nickname's Electric Man.
My name is Stromfesser.
Can electricity really do him no harm? Is that even possible? What is really behind these abilities? We visit the Electric Man in his hometown. Požarevac, a small town in Serbia. This is where Biba Struja lives with his family. The 51-year-old is just preparing breakfast. But in a rather unusual way.
Okay, breakfast's nearly ready.
That's because of how he provides the electricity. Instead of a cable, he puts 2 steel nails into the socket. Touching them is normally life-threatening. But he doesn't seem to feel a thing. If he wants to boil an egg, he reaches for 2 copper rods. Suddenly, a short circuit. But Biba doesn't get an electric shock, even though 220 volts are now flowing through his body. This is also how he provides the juice for the orange press. Biba, can you fry the sausages, please? In a normal frying pan? Far too boring for the Electric Man. He prefers to use 2 metal forks, which he then just puts onto the steel nails. And off we go.
Watch this.
Actually, Biba Struja should suffer the same fate as this sausage.
Super.
The fastest barbecue in the world.
And that's breakfast a la Biba Struja. The 51-year-old family man is in fact an electric performer. He earns his money by demonstrating the effects of electricity on his body.
This is my family, my 2 sons and my wife. This is our home, and this is how we live. Because of my skills, I travel a lot, and I do a lot of performances. My wife has got my back and takes care of everything here. So far, everything's gone well and we're all happy.
For his children, it's nothing special anymore.
As children, we wanted to be like our father. We wanted nothing more than to have his ability, like superheroes. But unfortunately, only he can do that. There is only one Biba.
When the boys were little, they tried to stick twigs into sockets. Then they got a good telling off and a slap on the wrist.
I get to hear it all the time. That's so phenomenal. Why can you do it? And I answer, I just can. Electricity's my best friend.
Word of his abilities has long since spread. Neighbors come to visit him almost every day.
Next, please.
Because Biba Struja offers a special electric shock treatment. Marco suffers from chronic migraine. Here he hopes for a little relief.
With this cable, the patients are connected to a battery. With my hands, I make an electric circuit. As soon as I touch them, electricity flows through their body. This works with almost everyone except people with heart conditions or those with pacemakers. That's because the current frequency could affect their heart rhythm.
The electric massage chair is the Electric Man's own invention. The chair is connected to a battery. Biba Struja is connected to the battery via a current conducting carpet. When the Electric Man touches the patient, an electric circuit is set up. The result? Gentle electric shocks for the patient.
Look, now he has no control.
The electric shocks cause muscle contractions. This is to release blockages and tension.
It tingles slightly as if I'm constantly receiving small electric shocks. At the moment, I feel as if I'm constantly under a mild electric current.
The whole thing looks similar to medical electrotherapy. But what doctors and therapists need special equipment for, Biba Struja does with his bare hands. The electric man's treatment method has not been scientifically proven, but nevertheless, the neighbors appreciate these special electric massages. But these electric massages are just a hobby for the electric man. Normally he makes a living by performing live and demonstrating his skills.
I'm on my way to my home village. I'm going to a workshop there to have my equipment for my shows checked. And there I'll also show you how it all started.
Maybe here we'll get the answer to why electricity can't harm him. This is where he did his training over 30 years ago.
We've known each other since we were young. They were there from the beginning and experienced everything.
There is one day the three of them will never forget, when Biba Struja discovered his ability.
It was a rainy day and the workshop floor was soaking wet, and we didn't have the good earthed safety shoes we have today. Yes, it was raining all the time. We were busy in the workshop doing repairs on a welding machine. Here, a part like this. Yes, this thing there had an earthing problem.
That's why Biba Struja assumed that the unit was not connected to the power supply, but it was. Because of the damp ground, an electric circuit had actually formed. A shock for his friends, because Biba should really have been electrocuted.
Then we told Biba to put 2 nails into the socket. And he just said, "No problem, I don't feel a thing." Then I took the phase tester. He was electrified, and it didn't affect him. Look here, one, nothing. The other, nothing. But both.
Even today, Biba's former colleagues are still very impressed.
228 volts, my goodness.
Because normally the electricity could kill him now.
So, nothing. And how much now? Nothing, 0.
But his skin seems to absorb the electricity just like some insulation made of rubber or wood. With the discovery of his ability, almost everything in his life changed. From the workshop to show business, his invulnerability to electricity eventually takes him all over the world. And to his wife. She is one of his first assistants. Today, his friends help him with his experiments, which are dangerous. Before his performances, he always tests the Tesla coil. With this, he can generate extremely high alternating voltages, which then produce flashes of electricity. Touching the coil at this moment is normally fatal. Lightning flashes with a voltage of 20,000 volts, enough energy to make even a standard neon light glow. And Biba Struja is now going to touch these lightning bolts with his bare hands. "20,000 volts of lightning should actually cause burns. But Biba's skin works like an insulator and protects him from the current. But why is that? His next demonstration, too, never ceases to amaze his friends. Biba Struja is able to use the Tesla coil to charge himself so strongly with static electricity that he can ignite flares soaked in petrol. With such performances, the Electric Man has been enjoying worldwide success for years. But playing with electricity is not without its consequences.
The disadvantage of my abilities is that I don't feel it when it's too much for my body. There's still electricity going through my body. And through all the experiments, my hands in particular look pretty worn out. I do get burns from time to time, and it's taking longer to recover from them.
That's why regular doctor's appointments are a must for Biba Struja. Today he has another appointment with his neurologist in the Serbian capital, Belgrade. Professor Malicevic has known Biba Struja for over 7 years. He was one of the first scientists to examine him.
Tell me, do you still have problems when you touch electricity? No, it's just the heat. So it's just the heat, you have no other problems?
When Dr. Malicevic first examined Biba Struja, he wanted to find out why his skin in particular could resist electricity so well.
We wanted to know if there was a difference between Biba's skin and ours. But during the dermatological examination, we found out that his skin is completely identical to ours. There was only one thing we noticed. Biba Struja has extremely low skin hydration, and that's because he has far fewer skin pores compared to other people.
Pores are mainly needed for sweating and for the body's own temperature balance. But this is the secret of Biba's insensitivity to electricity. The moister the skin, the faster and stronger the current flows. Without pores, however, his skin is much drier, which increases the current resistance by up to 5 times. So his skin hardly conducts any electricity at all.
That's why the current frequency doesn't affect his heart rhythm as much. That's why Biba Struja can play with electricity. Any other person would be killed. The cause of this phenomenon is not a disease, but a genetic condition.
Biba Struja has ectodermal dysplasia. It's an inherited genetic defect that leads, among other things, to malformation of the skin and sweat glands. Statistically, it affects only 1 in a million people. Biba Struja's ability is a freak of nature. A talent that has not only given him a career on stage, but also repeatedly takes him to classrooms and lecture halls at schools and universities. Today, he's giving a talk in the electrical engineering class at a secondary school.
Please, don't try this at home. Because I was born like this. Electricity can't do me any harm. Can you hear the buzzing? How much? 190 volts. 190 volts. But when I touch you, you can feel it. Volunteers, please.
Electricity is Biba Struja's life, and the people love it.
Attention, watch out.
But electricity is only Biba Struja's friend. His advice to the pupils and everyone else: don't do this yourself.